and everything that I went through, sports wise, it helped me with what I'm doing right now, and to be able to pour back into these kids, that's what it's about for me.
Ain't no call like a beauty call.
Welcome everybody to Beauty Calls. I'm Dr. Z, and as you know, this is the podcast where we explore everything related to beauty, health, wellness, and fitness. And today, from the fitness world and this athletic world, we've got a very special guest. He is a local legend here in New Bern, a former NCAA basketball star and professional basketball player who's now moved into a new stage in his career where he's actually a business owner and involved in some really exciting things for basketball with the kids. And we're going to talk all about that stuff. Of course, I'm talking about the eighth wonder. You all might know him as Antwan Scott. Thank you so much for being here, Antwan, and his son, AJ.
Thank you for having me.
Representing 8-Way.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So we haven't known each other for too long, but we met at your center.
Yes, sir.
My kids play basketball there with AJ, and you trained them and helped them to grow. And I wanted to start talking a little bit about, for people who don't know you, your career. Because when I first met you, I remember I pulled into the gym and I sat down and was watching. You came over and sat down and then started talking to me.
Oh, yeah.
Before long, you told me about the craziest path of a career that I think I ever heard. It was so interesting. And I was like, man, this guy has been everywhere and everything. Yep. So I think our viewers would be really interested in knowing a little bit more about where you started. You're from here.
Yeah, born and raised.
Born and raised in New Bern. You went to New Bern High?
New Bern High for 3 years, but I graduated from Oak Hill Academy in Virginia.
Got it.
Yeah.
And then from there, you went to Wake.
Yeah.
So tell me about your experience at Wake Forest a little bit. I'm a former. Well, I did my residency training at Wake Forest. So I know Winston-Salem a little bit.
Okay.
We might have been there at the same time, actually. I was there.
I graduated in 2002, so 98 to 2002.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I was there from 2004 to 2010.
Okay, so like 2004, I was still going back a lot. So, yeah.
So anyways, tell us how you were highly recruited out of high school, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah.
What, power forward?
Actually, no. Yeah, a lot of people that saw me play at Wake put me at power forward.
Okay.
In middle school, I actually played point guard.
Is that right?
At 6'5", 6'6". And when I got to high school, I'm one of the tallest guys, so they stick me inside. But at Oak Hill Academy, I played small forward.
Okay.
So that kind of helped me in my career as a pro as well, being able to play multiple positions. So
now you guys went to the tournament all 4 years you were there?
No, actually we didn't. My first year we didn't. Second year NIT. Third year we won the NIT. No. Second year we won the NIT. Third year we lost to Butler.
Okay.
In the NCAA tournament. And my senior year, we lost Oregon. Yeah.
And at that time, it was Skip Prosser, wasn't it?
My senior year was Skip Prosser.
Just your senior year.
My first 3 years was Dave Odom.
Got it. Yeah. So actually an interesting thing about Skip Prosser, I never met him or knew him, but he kind of followed me around all the time because, I grew up in Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So he was a Xavier guy.
Big time. Yeah.
When I was growing up, he was the assistant coach, and then I think he left for a few years. He went to Maryland or something, and he came back as a head coach after Pete Gillen. You know about that?
I remember Pete Gillen. Yeah, he recruited me.
So Skip, and then I find myself in Winston-Salem, and Skip is there again.
Oh, yeah.
With the Deacons. So he was, in fact, I was working at the hospital the day they brought him in from his heart attack.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it was tragic because everyone was like, he was young.
Yeah, and I had talked to him that morning.
That morning that he died?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of the details because I wasn't involved with his care, but I was in the OR. And, of course, there's like a bunch of commotion and buzz. And he had come in, maybe already dead, probably.
Yeah.
That was a really sad story. So he coached you for a year.
Yep. And I tell a lot of people that 1 year under him, I learned so much. And nothing against, the coaches I had my first 2 years at Wake. But I've learned so much in that 1 year with Skip. And it really, that's what I bring to the center. That's what I bring to coaching.
So you're talking about, you learned a lot about coaching or
coaching,
just about
really,
life principles?
Just life, period. Just how to be, a man. He brought a different element to the team. It it was about everything. It wasn't just basketball with him. One story that I tell people about Skip, and this was before the season even started. I'm in the pit, which is the cafeteria at Wake where all the students eat. And I'm just sitting there eating. I see Skip come in. Most coaches normally have somebody go get their food. You know, he comes up in there, and I just see him just go sit at the table with just random kids he didn't even know, and ate with him, just had a conversation with him.
That's cool.
So later I asked him, I said, Coach, why did you do that? He said, that's just who I am. I got to know the people, you know. Wow. So that really spoke, you know, highly of who he is. And that's kind of who I am. You know, I've always been that way. You know, I try to get to know people and, you know, get out and explore a little bit. So
make that community connection, right?
Yes. And that was important. And if you see, since we've known each other, you see I am with the people. So, yeah.
And we'll talk about all that stuff too. But so then what happened afterwards? I think you said you had played some summer league. Was that right? Or something with Dallas?
After college, well, I was still in school. First thing I did after the season, I got invited to do the college slam dunk contest at the Final Four, which was in Atlanta. And I knew I wasn't going to win as a quote unquote big guy. You know, they don't really give you the edge like they give the smaller guys.
Right.
You know, we can do the same exact dunk. They're going to give it to the smaller guy every time. But it was more about the experience. You know, we out there and we in Atlanta. I don't know if you know who Jermaine Dupri is, but music guy, big name in Atlanta. We hanging out with him for 2 or 3 days. We wasn't really thinking about the dunk contest. You know, we was doing a lot of press, a lot of
partying and stuff like that.
Well, not so much partying, but it's Atlanta. You know, we a lot of press that we was doing, but it was fun press. You know, it wasn't it was just we was having a lot of fun and making commercials and stuff like that. So I did pretty well in the dunk contest. The judges didn't give me a fair run. I had Evander Holyfield and Mike Vick, and
really,
yeah. And I think I know with Evander Holyfield, I asked him to come be a prop, and he wouldn't do it, and it kind of rubbed me wrong because I'm like, it's for the people, man, and no lie, I never told this story except for the people that was there because they laughed. I made a comment about Tyson biting his ear off when he said no to doing the prop. So
he heard you?
Oh yeah. I said it right to him. Yeah, I said it right to him.
I need to watch some footage of that. You have some clips of that?
Yeah, they show it on ESPN all the time.
Really?
Yeah, it pops up every now and then, and people be tagging me in clips. But it was fun. You know, Skip Prosser was actually there. You know, like I said, that's the type of guy he is. Mm-hmm. He showed up and showed me support there, and but from there, I got invited to the Portsmouth invitation. That's for seniors, college seniors, and that was in Portsmouth, Virginia. I played really well there, and every game I was asked to do something different. Everybody knew me in college as a dunker. Well, people didn't know I can shoot the ball or handle the ball because I didn't display it that much in college. Even though I make jokes about me being the best 3-point shooter in Wake Forest history, but I only shot 15. I made 7, so my percentage was pretty high. So from there, like I said, every game I was asked to do something else for the scouts. You know, all right, let them play. So I'm out there, I'm doing my normal dunking, blocking shots, high energy guy. Next game is, well, can he shoot? And I'm an agent. I showed him you can shoot the ball. You know, all right, can he go off the dribble? Then it was go off the dribble. So it was something every time, you know. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I had a good time. Then from there, I got invited to train for the Lakers, Clippers, and Grizzlies, and that was in L.A. That was a week. And it was just guys that was projected to go in the second round. And it was just 4 of us. And it went really well to the point where the agent was really happy afterwards. And he said, go out and just have a good time. I think we're going to be fine. Mm-hmm. But in the mix of that, I was going to train for the Korean teams. And really, that was only one day. They just wanted to see how athletic I was. And so
they had recruiters over here?
Well, Korean, how they set theirs up for South Korea, they hold private workouts or pickup games with just the GMs from that country. Yeah. They don't invite them. Yeah. So they look for certain players because they have a thing with the height. Mm-hmm. With 2 Americans on the team, their height can't be certain height.
Got it. Yeah. So where did you ultimately end up after all of that? What was your first professional job?
My first job was in Israel.
Okay.
I really thought I was going to have a shot at that second round. And I had a conversation with Phoenix. And they tell me about this guy named Amari, who's in high school. I don't know anything about the kid. And as far as I know, he's an 18-year-old. You know, I'm 23, 4 years of college. Hey, line me up with him. I love to play against him, you know. But they said we were similar players. And now that I'm saying is if you go back and think and look how Amari Stoudemire played, that was similar to my game, except I can shoot the ball and I can handle the ball. We was about the same. And he was available and they ended up drafting. You know, so I think that kind of hurt my chances with Phoenix at the time. Yeah.
I mean, if you had the same kind of a game, but a little bit more versatility.
Yeah, but he was 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how they looked at it. You know, he was younger, you know, so.
Mm-hmm. But you got a college degree.
Got a college degree. And everything that I went through, you know, sports-wise, it helped me with what I'm doing right now, you know, and to be able to pour back into these kids, that's what it's about for me. But from there, let me see what I do from there. I didn't get with Dallas till later. My first job was in Israel, which was tough because it was right after 9/11.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the next, you know, 9/11 in what, 01?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So 02, I go to Israel. Now the travel is different. And
Big time.
And this is something I haven't never said on camera. I got locked up right off the plane from 3 o'clock to midnight. No explanation, no nothing. They took my bags, my passport, and I got locked up in the airport.
You walked off the plane and they said, you're not
They would not let me in. They would not let me in. And
wow. Was that for everyone on the plane?
No.
Just you?
No. I mean, I guess they figured I was coming there to play basketball with me. Well, I told them that because I came into a room similar to this, 4 or 5 guards, hands on their guns. So here I am, fresh out of college, first time traveling by myself. Not my first time out of the country, but my first time, you know, traveling by myself.
Was your agent there?
No.
No, just all.
So just me.
Wow.
So I don't know what to expect. And they said, what are you here for? And I told them, I said, I just signed with a team. So what I found out later, because I did go back, they wouldn't let me come through then. They locked me up, said I have to stay till Monday.
Mm-hmm.
They'll get in contact with the team. No, I'm not staying locked up till Monday. Send me, you know, they said, well, you're going to be locked up. We'll send you home at midnight. And that's exactly what they did. They locked me up, sent me back home at midnight. So when I flew back, what I come into? New York. I'm calling my godmother on my cell phone. And she's like, don't be calling me on your cell phone. That bill's going to be expensive. I said, I'm in New York. I said, they locked me up and sent me home. You know what I'm saying? So I came home for a week. And then my agent was trying to get me to go back. I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it at all. I'm glad I went back, but part of me wish I wouldn't have went back. Yeah.
Was it a better experience the second time around?
Nah, it was bad. With that sitting there, you know, it was just hard for me after that. And I met some cool people. I had a good time, but it still was just tough. Just things that was happening. Like that was the wrong place for my first job to be. Because when I go back, I flew over there first class. Everything laid out nice. I'm excited. So to come back, I wanted more money. And I wanted part of it sent to me right then. And we finally got them to agree. And I still didn't want to do it. So I get on the flight. They put me in the back of the plane this time. So no more first class this time.
Using some of that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, they got me. And it was just like from day one when I got there, everything was just wrong. I didn't have my apartment. I was staying with a family the first 2 days. It was just bad. Really no phone, no internet. I didn't have anything for 2 days. And I'm just stuck in this room with this family that didn't speak English. It was just bad.
Did you have a bed?
Yeah, but I'd rather had that bed when I was locked up, you know? So it was bad. So from there, they let me, they got the other American to let me move in with him. And I slept on his couch for a week.
Oh, wow.
But then the problem became we have to compete in practice.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I'm a high energy guy when I played. And it's a job. I'm not about to take a light on you because sleeping on your couch, we competing. He didn't like that. So he wanted me out of his place.
Now, what you mentioned the money and renegotiating your contract. I know a lot of guys who play overseas. Some do it to develop. Some view it as an opportunity for maybe coming into the NBA. But a lot of other people do it for a long time as a career. Is it financially? Is it lucrative, or is it really? If you're not going to make any kind of changes, is it not really even worth all the effort and the time away from home?
I think for the most part is really what you want out of it. For me, like, of course, everybody's dream is to play in the NBA, and that's only like 400 players a year to actually make it. Mm-hmm. But I had a really good shot, so to wait around for phone calls and other things happened with my agent. I ended up firing my agent, because I should have been in some summer leagues, been a second round draft pick. I didn't play summer league after college. Mm. They gave it to somebody else trying to help them out. Because as a agency, you trying to, build your agency up and get your clients out.
Right.
But the guy that they sent, they shouldn't have sent them over me. I was the biggest guy that they got at that time. They just thought that I was going to be locked in at a second round draft. So, but as far as overseas, it depends on where you go. Me having a chance to actually play in the NBA, going to Israel was pretty good for me because the talent there. Israel's a pretty tough league. You got your Spain, France, tough leagues, Greece. Mm-hmm. But then you get some kids who probably don't have the NBA talent who can go overseas and play 20 years and have a great career, financially too. So, yeah.
Well, now we got Dwight Howard playing for Taiwan.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Sony did, I said, that's a business move. And as you see, he's going to be like part owner of one of the teams.
Yeah. And going into it as already being a star, you're going to capitalize on your name.
I've been to Taiwan 6 or 7 times. The first time going, I wasn't even in shape, and I played very well, So the talent in Taiwan, you don't go to Taiwan if you're thinking you're going to try to make the NBA,
Yeah.
You can go there as an older player, you don't love all your athleticism. Because they do the same thing with the height too, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on. And then I know about Korea. You want to talk about that at all? Or?
Well, a lot of stuff leading up to that is how I got on that trip. But for that trip, a lot of people have their thoughts on it, not knowing why we really went. And, for us, it was the goodwill that we always try to do that don't really get advertised. And there was a photo that came out that people thought was Kim, the ruler of North Korea. It actually was his brother with Dennis Rodman jersey on. So that's where the connection came.
When was this?
We went over there in 2014.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was a picture when the kid was younger. He had a Dennis Rodman jersey on. Uh-huh. They thought it was actually Kim, but it was the brother. So that's where the connection came.
And you were there too?
Yeah, I went. Yeah,
so people thought you were involved with North Korea?
Yeah, they thought I had already been before with another group, but I went to the DMZ line. I was in South Korea, but we got to visit the DMZ line where they meet. And that was intense. Yeah, that was intense.
But you never met Kim.
I shook his hand. I've been in the room with him a couple times. He came to our game.
So were they looking for you as a player? Or were you strictly always with South Korea and they were just doing kind of like...
That wasn't a North versus South thing. I traveled with a lot of former NBA players. Mm-hmm. And like I said, with them having that Dennis Rodman jersey on is where that connection came. Right. So I went over there with Dennis Rodman, a lot of former NBA players.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's probably a neat experience, though.
I'm not gonna lie, it was fun. And a lot of people would be like, how can you say that was fun? I said, because I was there. I'm not just looking at the news or reading about it. I actually was there, and we had a lot of fun. The only time that it wasn't fun for us is when we did our CNN interview, and people from CNN made it something else.
Got it.
But we had a lot of fun.
I know Dennis Rodman was in the news a few years ago for when he did go back to North Korea, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if he had some kind of a friendship or relationship with them or not, but
Yeah.
The Worm, right? Isn't it?
Yep, the Worm.
You friends with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I traveled with Dennis 6 or 7 years before we even did that trip.
Wow.
Yeah. See, people thought that trip was the first time I've been around Dennis. No, I've done plenty of trips with Dennis, all over the world,
And a lot of people, I think, when I first heard that you had played pro, I didn't know anything about your overseas stuff. I heard about And1.
Yeah.
How long were you with And1?
I got on tour, and I'll give you a story about that. I got on tour. I actually went to watch, maybe in 05, 04, I think 05. I went to watch a friend of mine that played with them in Raleigh.
Who was that?
John Helicopter Humphrey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's from Moorhead.
Helicopter.
Yeah. So I went to watch him play. And typical And1 guys, they call you out, and I'm like, man, I'm here to support. I love what y'all do. I'm a fan. But then they get on the microphone in front of everybody.
And challenge you.
Yeah, and they keep challenging you and try to make it seem like you're scared. Now everybody wants you to play. So they have the thing called open run, which is outside first. You have to play outside and they play inside. Because they pick the team from outside to play against. And I'm sitting there and they just getting on my nerves. And I'm a competitor. I like to compete. I got a whole new outfit on just for this, new shoes. And I didn't bring no ball sneakers. So I looked at the coach that does the opposing team. I said, hey, what I got to do to play? He said, you got to play out here first. I said, sub me in real quick, just like this. I got the ball. I backed the kid down, turn around, gorilla dunk. I see y'all in the building. I left. We went and made sure I got hydrated, got some food, got ready for it. And we didn't win the game, but I played really well. I dominated that game, like very bad.
You a spot, at least inside.
It put me on a video game that night. Yeah, they had me stick around, and they put me on a video game that night. And at that time, me and John Humphreys had the same agent, and he already sent messages to the agent.
Wow,
Antwan in here cutting up, and the agent was like, "Do not leave that building. I'm working on something for you right now." And what I had first was an apparel deal. I had an apparel deal with Amp to where they closed because I already had a contract signed to go play in Turkey. Yeah. So they outfitted me for that. But in my contract, they wanted me to play 10 games during the summer. So I finished the tour out, played 10 games with them. Then the next summer did the same thing. So that's how I came a part of it. I never wanted to play, but it was fun.
It's its own culture, right?
Yeah, it was fun.
It's fun.
I did the Globetrotters first, so I got to experience both tours.
Yeah.
And it's a huge difference in both.
Were they still doing mixtapes when you were there?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on a few of them.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm on a few of them. Yeah.
I remember seeing the old school ones, like the original mixtapes.
I used to go to Foot Action and buy them.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the VCR tapes.
Hot Sauce.
Yep. Good friend of mine. Yeah.
Yeah. And the cool thing about And1 is a lot of kids were attracted to that and gravitated to it. Like at least when I was in junior high and stuff, because they could see themselves making it to something like that. NBA might be out of reach if you're not going through the NCAA and recruited and all. But these are regular guys who got skills, play, on the playground. And I remember I had some friends who were like, I wouldn't even want to go NBA. I want to be on N1.
A lot of people said that.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of NBA guys will come play us or just want to play in the game one time. Or, a lot of guys, when we go to cities, a lot of guys would show up to play because they were huge fans of it.
Did you play with the professor?
It's funny. He noticed. I played with Professor, good friend of mine as well.
What's his real name? I don't even remember.
Grayson, like Grayson Boucher.
Uh-huh.
Remember what happened not too long ago at the building with Professor? Yeah. Probably about a month ago.
Uh-huh.
We were at the center, at the 8-Way Center. And before that, Professor had posted me on his story on Instagram. So I guess a lot of the kids follow him.
Yeah.
You know, so they come in, man, how you know Professor? You don't know Professor? I was like, know Professor very well. I traveled with him 4 or 5 years. No, you don't. So what I do then, I take my phone and I video me talking to the kids, but I'm talking to Professor. And I sent it to him. And he sent the video right back, you know, encouraging the kids, you know, to keep the good work up.
You have that posted on Facebook?
No, I didn't post it. Yeah, I didn't post it. It's in my inbox.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so, everyone knows about him from YouTube. Kids who never knew anything about And1 just know him from YouTube, right? Yeah. He put out a video once about why he didn't make it to the NBA. And I think there was a lot of truth to it. I don't know if you saw that one or not. Why are you laughing?
Well, and I'm always gonna keep it real. And this is why, like, a lot of people in the street ball world is excited for me to do a podcast, because I'm just gonna speak the truth when I talk about everything, you know. And the And1, some guys could have played in the NBA. Some guys, you know, just because they do well there. Make a long story short, we played against pro guys plenty of times on the And1 tour.
And it's a different story.
And some of the guys that people love on the mixtape, if you go look at those games when we played the guys that really play basketball, you don't see them. They there, but you don't see them in none of the clip. Yeah. And nothing against, like, Fess. Yeah. Everybody know, like, you know, Fess was a big, you know, he can play, but they know he was more of a marketing guy, just like Sauce. But you take the Baby Shaqs, the Springs, the Ayos, the Primes, those guys was, you know, different type of players.
Got it.
Yeah, of course, myself. You know, I still put myself down. Well, not just me, a lot of people do. As the best big man to play. And one, I wasn't a big man, but I had some pretty good days out there, you know, as far as competing.
So, I mean, you kind of did a little bit of everything overseas, multiple countries, Turkey, Israel, Korea. You did Globetrotters.
Which was probably my favorite.
Is that right?
Yeah. The Globetrotters probably was one of my favorite times.
Because of the organization, or just it was fun?
Well, it fit me all the way around. And I never forget my first year out there when I met the owner. He comes out and people was already, you know, throwing my name around to him, because a lot of guys that had NBA potential, they didn't come play. They might have get selected to play against the Final Four guys or something. But just come and want to be a Globetrotter, like, once I got there and realized what it was, like, I wanted to do this. And my first conversation with him was, his name was Manny Jackson, but we called him Chief. I said, Chief, nice to meet you. I said, I want to be an Advanced Ambassador. Can you explain that more to me? I'm, you know, exactly what it is. And he said, why you want to do that now? That's what guys do at the end of their career. I said, why can't I do it now? Like, I can do both. I want to learn it. That's what I love to do. So when he explained it to me, Advanced Ambassador is more of somebody who is an older player or a guy that don't really play as much. They will send him out to do promo runs, to do kids camps, to do sponsorship events with, you know, different sponsors that, you know, the Globetrotter have. Now, like, that's what I love to do. I'm a natural at that. I love to be around people, the kids. So he's like, you serious? And I'm like, yes, sir. So he flew me to Phoenix after the season. I did all the training. And
so they have like a training camp to become a Globetrotter?
Yeah.
How long is that?
It's like 4 days, but it ain't no trick. Yeah. It's all basketball.
When do the tricks come? Is that people do it on their own, or is there some kind of
Globetrotter
school?
Globetrotter is pretty much a circus. Not like, I'm not saying in a joking way.
Yeah.
It's a routine. It's a routine. And they take that really serious.
So how do you acquire those skills?
You have to take the ball. Like, you really have to do a lot of that on your own, which is why I became one of Manny Jackson's favorites as a young guy, because I was always seen to the side working on tricks, working on routines and stuff. But I had my legs. And if you're a fancy dribbler or a high jumper, you can make a living playing with the Globetrotter.
Oh yeah, I want to put a picture up here of I saw. Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
Of of one of those upside down hanging from the rim dunks.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that, you see with the high flying dunkers on Globetrotters.
And a funny story about that. I did the Globetrotters before I did And1. And Globetrotters, everybody with that dunk, they'd do something. Some guys would hang upside down. Some guys would pull their head up in the net.
Right.
For me to be a bigger guy and to hang upside down, the kids loved it. People loved it. And so I was doing that. Then maybe my second year, the end of my second year, the Globetrotters signed a guy named Spider who hung upside down like a spider. His feet wasn't on the backboard like mine was. He just hung upside down, spider. And when I came to And1, I would still do what I did with the Globetrotters. And people were saying that I was still in Spider move. And I was like, y'all better go back and watch some of this Globetrotter stuff. I always hung upside down on the rim, so.
Well, now we bring it to the modern day.
Mm-hmm.
And the Eighth Wonder has founded 8-Way Center.
Mm-hmm.
Before we talk about the center, tell me a little bit about what that name means to you.
My nickname, as you said, was the eighth wonder of the world. And when we was in Taiwan, I met a graphic designer there, and I stayed in contact with him because we was going back and forth there so much. And one day I was like, hey, I want a logo done, but I want a logo that's going to be like a Nike symbol or Adidas or Under Armour. I didn't want nothing other than that, something that I can see on everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent them over some ideas of what I meant. And he took my nickname and created that 8 with a W in the middle.
Like on your hat.
Yeah.
Yep.
And soon I saw it, it was perfect. And I didn't know what I was going to do with it at the time. I wasn't even thinking about a center. I just said, I need this to have at, some point. Because I always thought about, life after basketball. So that's where it came from, but I didn't want to call it the Eighth Wonder Center. That didn't really sound right.
Right.
But the story about the whole, the 8-Way, my nickname,
mm-hmm.
Eighth Wonder. I'm a religion major. The number 8 in the Bible, new beginning. And like I said, my jersey number was 8 on tour.
Oh, yeah.
And even when I played with the Globetrotters before And1, my number was 44, So it was organic. I didn't really have to think about it too much. It was right in my face the whole time. So I said, I'm going to just call it the 8-Way Center, and there you go.
So tell us what's happening at the center. What's it all about? What's your current, status with what do you have going on with 8-Way Center?
Mm-hmm.
And then let's talk about where you see it going in the future.
Well, a lot of people ask me that, and I tell them one of my main things with 8-Way Center was just to use sports to teach life skills. And especially in the beginning, a lot of people come in and want to interview or just ask me questions or just talking to the kids. And I would try to relate stuff that I do to real life. One thing that I always say is this: all right, if I'm your coach here, who are y'all? And the kids be like, we the teammates. I say, okay, so in school, who is your coach? And they're like, the teacher. I say, so who are your teammates? And they say, the classmates. So with the younger kids, I was always telling them that to keep that kind of going. Like, the way you respect me here, I need you to respect the coach at school the same way, which is your teachers, And it kind of kept being a good thing. And when I go visit schools, I would say the same thing in front of those teachers to the kids, So that's kind of one of my main things with the 8-Way
to respect
Center.
their leaders, their instructors,
exactly,
their role models,
and then you
their parents.
Exactly. Then you bring in the point of working hard. School, you got to work hard. Home, what is your job? Keep that room clean. Your chores, you get the homework. It all ties in together. And the sports is just a good avenue for that.
Mm-hmm. Well, absolutely. And the same thing that goes with like all other sports, martial arts, anything
mm-hmm.
that's going to teach you physical fitness, but discipline.
Discipline.
Right? I mean, you can't become good, right, AJ, unless you practice a lot and you work hard. So,
and you see too, one of my quotes on my wall, well, a couple of my quotes on my wall that I got real huge on the wall is no excuses, but confidence is everything. And that's one of the main things for me is to build that confidence. Some kids come in just zero confidence. They don't even want to go out there at first. And I got plenty of stories I can just tell you about different kids that come in that don't even want to do it. They say they want to do it, then they get in there and see it. They don't want to do it, and just getting them out of their comfort zone and building that confidence up. And that's what I get a high from. I really enjoy that part,
Yeah, building them up in their character and helping them realize that, they can do whatever they put their mind to.
Mm-hmm.
That's an awesome thing.
And it ain't about playing the sport. It's whatever you do in life,
Just believe in yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You want to be in the NBA? Is that your dream? I think he's got a shot, huh? Are you going to get him there?
He got to keep working.
He's going to get himself there.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, with my son, a lot of things that happen people don't know about. And I pay attention to a lot of stuff. And one of my friends came down maybe 2 years ago and he said to AJ, when y'all doing basketball stuff, it's not your dad, he's your coach. And this year doing travel ball, I paid attention to that he always called me coach during the games. So that's one thing I always say about him. He listens, he pay attention. So when you tell him something, he'll sponge, he'll soak it up, but he will definitely, apply it and use it, and I'm proud of him for that, but people see him and I tell them all the time, like, no, the kid works, whether I'm there or not, he works, and it's about the work ethic, and which is something I try to help kids with a lot. Some days I would come in, if a kid want to sit down, I'm not going to fight with him, all right, but you're not going to do this every day, but I'm not going to forget that day you came and just sat down and played on your phone. So when a game come up or you having a rough day here with drills or whatever it is, now I get to bring that back up. You remember the day you sat down, you didn't want to do nothing? You can't cheat the game. That's right. Is my point, So you got to continue to work. Even when you don't want to do it, you got to keep working. And that's one thing that he does, so.
Well, and he's got some natural skills too.
Yeah.
Right? A lot, going into 7th grade, how tall is he now? 6'4"?
About 6'2", pushing 6'2". Yeah.
He plays like he's bigger than that. And my kids play with him. I got, 11-year-old and almost 15-year-old, and they love basketball, but they don't have the natural skills. They don't have the height. They don't have the athleticism. I mean, I don't know why they didn't get it from me. They must have taken that from their mom. But they have a passion for it. And I think you can be discouraged if you think, I have a limitation. I'll never be able to make it to the NBA. But I tell my kids, if you really want that, look at the NBA and look at some people who
exactly
got there because of all the time they put in.
Yeah.
They don't have the height. They don't have the natural athleticism. So like whoever, John Stockton or something, like he's like, just some ordinary short white guy who's one of the best point guards in history.
Yeah.
So I think you do a good job of encouraging people from all sorts of different physical attributes that, just have fun, number one. But if you're serious about it, it takes work.
And that's the thing that I try to, remind the kids too. Like, when you want to be great at something, you have to give up something. And like, it might be, oh, I can't go hang out or I can't go do this. I got to go to the gym. One thing about me when I was growing up, even when I was playing, I would come home. We can hang out. We could do whatever. The guys that was close to me, they knew when I got up in the morning, I was at the gym. I was either lifting weights, shooting. I was out there running the hills. I don't care what we did the day before. And like I said, to give up something, I gave up my senior year to get to the next level. My senior year in New Bern. I go to Oak Hill Academy. I gave up my summer going into my senior year. I went to Oak Hill Academy in the summer going into my. So you have to give up something, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't look at it that way, but like that's what it's going to take. If you look at a lot of guys, I'm pretty sure in your field, like you got some of the same stories, and every athlete that I talked to that made it to the highest level, that's one thing they always talk about. Like, man, I had to give up something.
Well, and really that applies to everything. If you want to be at the top, if you want to succeed, if you want to be a winner in your field, it could be number one YouTube creator.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, I've talked to YouTube creators who are huge and they'll say, I have no life. I spent every single minute on the computer editing, making content. Like I might sleep 5 hours a night, and that's what they've given up just because that's their passion. If you don't have a passion for it, you're going to burn out, and then that's all over. But whether you want to, you know, be a teacher or a writer or an athlete, I mean, you got to give up a lot.
And sometimes some of that work is boring, you know. And I used to tell the kids, look, no, this stuff is boring. Doing something over and over and over every day. Because I'm with training, learning the fundamentals. It's not the fancy stuff. The kids like the fancy stuff that's going to be on the highlights. I do the stuff that people not going to pay attention to when your highlight get posted. You know, certain guys will that know the game, but they're not going to pay attention to your footwork on this play. It's a lot of hours that go in to train your mind and your body to do that. And it's muscle memory. And when people see AJ as a 12-year-old with a mid-range game, that's a lot of hours. I showed him on the shooting machine his career shots on that machine since we had it. And this is just the time that he logged in. He's taken almost 30,000 shots.
Wow.
And that's just the times where he actually logged into his name. So you probably looking at another 15,000 shots that ain't even been recorded. You see what I'm saying? So
I noticed his mid-range jumper was looking pretty smooth last night.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
you know, and if you keep that up as you get taller and you become a big man who can shoot, that's what NBA is all about today, right?
Well, that's what I was telling you about Chris. I'm telling you, I see something in both of your sons, but for Christopher to be able to handle the ball like that already, you say he's 11, going to the 5th, and he already can handle the ball like that.
He's got a passion for it. And you know he studies the game. He watches every game of the season, and he watches replays. He'll come out. Remember last month that game when so-and-so scored this and that? And I'm like, how do you remember that? Because he studies it like a sponge. And then he goes out on the court and practices. But that's...
See, I can't get him to do that. And...
he likes to play.
Well, my thing, he get it honest because I wasn't watching everybody either. My thing was always this. I don't care who it is. When we line up, I'm coming to get you. That was always my attitude. And I'm starting to see that in him. I didn't watch a lot. If it wasn't Michael Jordan come fly with me, I didn't watch anything. You know, when I was in middle school, Dave Odom popped up at the YMCA. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know who he was because I didn't watch, you know. My whole concern was, let me get in the gym, whoever in there, like I'm coming for them. So it worked both ways,
Absolutely.
you know. It worked both ways.
So we just had, I put this little plaque up here that you gave me because we just had a little tournament there, and there's the final game on Monday. So you do these local tournaments. You've got your AAU team. You've got private lessons and all sorts of things going on where people who are interested in basketball at all come and learn from someone who's an expert, right? And have fun and hang out and meet new kids who have the same kind of passion and drive for basketball, which is really cool. Where do you see 8-Way going?
Well, with what I want, exactly. It's definitely growing and it's going to continue to grow. But like, you know, a lot of people know me from basketball. But I tell people all the time, don't matter what sport you play, you can get in there and it's going to help you with, you know, advancing whatever sport it is because of the footwork, using the Vertimax, just getting in there, just working, period. So it's going to help you. Some days we got the slam balls going, we got the battle ropes going, a lot of stuff that I don't post. You know, we doing a lot of different things in there to help with even just fitness, period.
Just training,
Yeah, and you know, I've been in talks with Wake Forest here lately, and they kind of going through some stuff to see what they can donate to the center to help advance some of my training as well. So, you know, I tell people just, you know, be patient and just keep their eyes open because, you know, more stuff is coming. But at the end of the day, I definitely want to grow to a bigger space. Just have a bigger place. We talked about this before, cause there's just so much, potential with where this thing can go. But I definitely want to get into being able to host more tournaments. Like my 4-on-4 league, I think I created something good with that because a lot of kids are interested in just playing 4-on-4, competing. But we all know it ain't 4-on-4 in a real game, So I want to be able to get to the point where, I can host big tournaments because of my resources and be able to pull big name teams here and stuff like that. So
you need the space.
Need the space.
You can move next door. We got lots of land right here.
Lots of land out here. Anybody out here looking, get in touch.
The tournament that we're about to finish on Monday relies a lot on sponsorships from people in the community. Yes. It's not cheap to put on an event like that and get gear and jerseys and all that and promote it. So I'm sure you're always looking for more sponsorships, right?
Yes, sir. All the time. And like I said, that email is, the best way to contact me for sponsorships, which is 8wayscenter@gmail.com. Anybody looking to be a sponsor, to host anything that we have going on at the center, from summer camps. We still do rent the space for birthday parties. We still do that as well. But, anybody that's looking to donate anything, have equipment. I had people drop shoes off. I had people drop a lot of things off to donate to the center, and we'll get it into the hands of the people who can use it as well.
And also, I mentioned to you before we started that I'd love to have you at our fair, our Health and Wellness Fair, which this will be the second annual New Bern Health and Wellness Fair, first Saturday of November.
Okay.
So make sure that y'all come out to that, see everything that's going on in the health and wellness community here in New Bern, and check out hopefully Antwan and AJ and maybe some other members of the Phenoms or the 8-Way Center can come.
I get some kids to come.
Then talk about what it's like and recruit some more players for your program.
That'd be great. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And for anyone who is looking or who wants to find out more about you and what you guys are doing, tell us where they can find you.
Well, on social media, it's 8-Way Center, at 8-Way Center on all platforms. The email is 8waycenter@gmail.com. We're located right there in James City near the airport, 610C Airport Road. Stop in, send an email, inbox. Come check us out. We in there. We doing the best we can with what we got.
You guys are doing a great thing.
Yeah.
I could tell from the first day we walked in that your heart is in it, and that's what matters the most.
Exactly.
It's not it's not just a business, right?
Yeah.
In fact, you're a nonprofit.
Yeah, just switched to nonprofit, this year. And that's been going well. I don't want to talk about, too much until it happened, but we've been having some good meetings, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
It's going to be good for the community.
It's going to be good. Definitely good for the community. And I think a lot of people are starting to understand, like, it ain't a competition thing with the other programs in town because I'm trying to work with everybody. Last night I did training at the Y, for their last day of their hot shot thing. So I was at the YMCA last night after I closed 8-Way. Went over to the Y. They had like 15 kids that showed up. And we did some drills with them. So I'm trying to bring it all together because for me, it takes a village. It ain't really a competition thing,
Yeah. And I know that you really mean that. I seen you show up at the Y when we were playing there. You show up at the kids' school when they're playing there because, it's all like a family and you want to show support and represent.
And there's not even places with my son playing.
Right.
You'll see me with him or without him. I'm still showing up, whether it's 8:00 in the morning, different schools. I always come support, and I love the reaction I get from some of the kids, who was playing. It was Parrot was playing at Epiphany.
Yep.
And I think he was checking into the game and I forgot the other kid that tapped him. And he pointed to me and he just lit up, So there's things like that, just being around and, because I do my own merchandise as well. And to see the T-shirts and the hoodies and see the kids, really wearing it and representing 8-Way, like that really means a lot.
AJ, Anything you want to add?
Yeah, you got to ask him questions. He ain't going to say too much.
Ready to start school? Not really.
Yeah.
Kind of.
He ready for basketball season. Yeah.
Well, my kids aren't ready for school, but they already started and they hate it because they're still in summer mode and basketball mode. But, well, I appreciate everything you do. I appreciate being a big part of our community and a friend.
Yes, sir.
And a mentor to my kids.
Yes, sir.
And to all the other kids who call 8-Way, a special place and a home. And just thanks for your time and for sharing some of your story with us. Yep. And I bet you that things are only going to grow from here. And
yes, sir.
You got a good foundation. We appreciate it.
I appreciate it too. And when I release my podcast, I'd love to have you on as well.
Absolutely.
On mine, I'm gonna dig deep into some things, and especially college, because this is a message I definitely want to get out. I want kids to really understand and know the business side of that when it comes to college, and that was something that I understood at an early age. Where I had recruiters come. I lived with my great grandma growing up who didn't watch basketball. Mm-hmm. She came to one game a year when I was that weight. So she didn't watch. So she didn't know how the recruiting process went. And I have recruiters come in and promise me a lot of things in front of her. And I was like, and she was excited about it. I'm like, Grandma, they can't do that. That's illegal. And she was like, so you lying to me, And she's like, well, oh, well. I said, Grandma, they said, no, well, they can't do that. That's illegal, So it's a lot of things that I want to share that, these kids unaware of, because now with social media, they can be contacted directly from a lot of people, and they kind of get the kids excited. Then the kids come to the parents, Yeah. And then nobody like to tell their kid no, especially when they're excited to do so. So it's just a lot of stuff that I definitely want to dig into and give that information out and help whoever I can help, Yeah.
Share your experience.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you have a good rest of your summer. I thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
All right, man.
It was fun.